Hello everyone, my name is Patricia Meredith and I am the author of the Spokane Clock Tower Mysteries, book one of which is Butcher, Baker, Candlestick Taker, which came out last October. And today I am so excited to share with you the unboxing of Cupboards All Bared, which is book two in the series. I just want to take a minute to thank from the bottom of my heart everyone who has shared this book. Everyone who has bought a copy, who has borrowed a copy from the library, who has told their friends that it is, quote, unputdownable, that it is addicting, that it is, they just couldn't stop reading it, that they read it in one night. I've had people tell me how much they love the characters, and that just means so much to me. Especially the characters, because this series, this is what I've got planned, is 12 books in this series, and tell you what, all of those characters are going to be included in every single book. They all play a major part. Well, maybe not all of them, but many of them will be returning. You'll just have to keep reading the books to see who gets the spotlight next time. But I can tell you that Archie Prescott, our clockmaker for the Spokane Clock Tower, will of course be returning in all of the books. Marian will be returning, Marian Kenyon. She's still got some things to do in Spokane, a new life to unpack. And then we've got the Carews, and I love the Carews. I love Bernard, our detective, and Thomas, our witty, quippy twin brother. We'll also be introduced to some new characters, including we'll get into the head of Bernard's wife, Rosalind, who is in a wheelchair, which in 1901 was a newfangled device. Not everybody had one, and one of the things that really makes Rosalind Carew breathe on the page, and one of the reasons that I am so excited to introduce her to everyone, is that although she has become her own character, she began as being greatly influenced by a personal heroine of mine, Jan Falconer, and her life in a wheelchair since the age of 30. And Jan did me the honor of answering a lot of my most difficult questions in order to make sure that I was representing Rosalind correctly. And then Rosalind and Bernard's relationship, their love for each other, is also greatly influenced by Jan and her husband, Tom. They may not realize it, and you might be watching right now, you might not realize it, but you have had such an incredible influence on so many couples through the generations because of the way you guys love each other, and I cannot thank you enough for that. And then we've also got Peter Bach, who is the Spokesman Review reporter, so we'll get to see a little bit more with the Spokesman Review and kind of get into a reporter's mind. Tell you what, why don't I stop talking and I'll unpack the book and then I can read you a little bit more from it. So here we go. Drum roll, please. Book 2 of the Spokane Clock Tower Mysteries, Cupboards All Bared. Here we go. I love this cover. Ready? Dun, da, da, da. Cupboards All Bared. Here is book 2 of the Spokane Clock Tower Mysteries. Don't you love it? A little bit creepy, a little bit different. So what do you think is going to happen in this one? Well, let me read you the back of the book, and then I can unpack a little bit more for you. In this sequel to Butcher, Baker, Candlestick Taker, we're once again transported to Spokane, 1901. A body discovered in Hangman Creek looks to be the result of an accidental fall, but what begins as a simple mystery for Thomas Carew and his twin brother Bernard quickly becomes a lot more complicated, including implications that tie in with the bombings at the Idaho mines and perhaps even President McKinley's planned visit. It's been 1 month since the events of the first book, and readers will enjoy engaging once again with the full cast of quirky characters, from Archie and Marian to Thomas and Bernard, with a couple new faces thrown in. Those familiar with Spokane will love the entangled web that takes them from Hangman Creek to the Campbell House and the Montvale, ensuring that this story couldn't be set anywhere but Spokane, Washington. So there you have it, cupboards all bared. So I did want to take a minute to talk a little bit about some of the history that's going into this one, because this one's very historically driven. What happened was I was writing Butcher, Baker, Candlestick Taker and doing research into the dates in which I had it set, which was May 8th. Was the original dates for Butcher, Baker, Candlestick Taker. For those of you who have read it, who maybe noticed, it's actually set in April now. Why is that, Patricia Meredith? Well, it's because as I was researching into May and reading all these wonderful articles that I could find online from the Spokesman Review from May, I stumbled across one that said that the Campbells, which the Campbell House is one of the driving forces of these books. When I went to the Campbell House, that's where I started my research and where I really got addicted to Spokane history. You can go in and it's all set up circa 1910 because they were able to find documents from when the house was lived in 1910 of like the decorator's notes and things like that. So it's very detailed. In fact, many of the pieces the curators actually tracked down through history. So it's incredible to walk through this house. Well, then when I was researching in May, all these articles, I came across an article saying that President McKinley, this was his second term as president, he was doing a national tour, and he was due to come to Spokane at the end of May, actually over what we now know as Memorial Day weekend, and he was going to stay with the Campbells, because it turns out that President McKinley was actually friends with the Campbells in Ohio. Oh my goodness, I have to write a story, obviously, surrounding those events. So that meant pushing Butcher Baker back a month. The other location is the Montvale Hotel, which again is actually still standing. So for this book in particular, I really tried to choose places where you could actually still visit. But it was one of the original single occupancy hotels here in Spokane, which means it was designed for laborers, for people who were working in Spokane and were only stopping through for a short time. So as you can tell, this book really could not take place anywhere else other than Spokane. Advanced reviews of this book have been amazing. One of them from Biblio Brunette, a Bookstagram reviewer, she said, if you enjoy mysteries, history, and most of all, well-written characters who feel real, definitely check out this series. Another one, Ginger Morticia, she just adored the book. Oh my goodness, she could not stop telling me how much she loved it. She said, full of surprising mysteries and as a historical fiction, absolutely brilliantly written. The second book in the series, I think, is even better than the first. Page-turning addicting. And then from Alex Fergus, a Spokane historian at the Ferris Archives, who has been incredibly helpful with my research into all of these books. He said it was a fun mystery plot, cleverly and compellingly written with excellent integration of historical persons and events into the story. So thank you again for those of you who have left a review. I look forward to hearing what everybody else thinks about this new book. Be sure to leave a review if you read this book or the first book on Amazon or Goodreads so that everybody knows how much you enjoyed it. I will be having a very special event, a book launch dessert tea at Heavenly Specialties here in Spokane. So for those of you who live nearby or are maybe planning to visit our fair city, you could check out the Campbell House, check out the NMAC, the Northwestern Museum of Arts and Culture right next door. You could visit Hangman Creek. You could even stay at the Montvale Hotel. And then come to my dessert tea, which is Friday, May 20th at 5 o'clock p.m. at Heavenly Specialties, which serves the best scones in town. So for only $20, you will get an unlimited amount of tea, plus 2 scones, a dessert, some fruit. I mean, it's a beautiful spread at Heavenly Specialties. I'm never disappointed. It's actually my favorite place to go to write. I go find a little corner and then just inspired by the atmosphere. It's just lovely. I really hope that you will come and join me and hear more about Cupboards All Bared and join me in celebrating its release. And while you're there, you can pick up a copy of Butcher, Baker, Candlestick Taker and Cupboards All Bared in print, or bring the copies that you have already and I will sign them for you. I sincerely hope that I will see you there and get to meet meet you in person so that you can hear more about the research and writing and the characters that are going into this series, because this is only the first two. So we have so much more to unravel. Cupboards All Bared is available in print, ebook, and audiobook through all of the normal channels, and you can follow the link down below. I also strongly recommend that you speak to your library about getting both of these books if they don't have the first one in. Follow me on social media as @PMeredithAuthor on Instagram, Facebook, and on Goodreads. Thank you again. Have a wonderful, blessed May Day. Bye.